Okay, I have a question for you. This is not a trick question. It is real. When's the last time you tried walking on water? Oh, you've never tried it? Well, neither have I. But remember Peter, one of Jesus's disciples? He did. You remember that story? It was after Jesus had done one of his most talked about miracles where he fed the 5,000 men, not to mention women and children. And then he sent the disciples on ahead of him in the boat while he dismissed everyone else. And he went to be alone with the Father and to pray. Then, if you remember the story, there was a storm that came up, and the disciples are out in the middle of the Sea of Galilee and straining at the oars, and Jesus comes walking to them on the water, and they think it's a ghost, because you know what? They never seen Jesus this way before. And so he calls out to them to take courage. He identifies it's me. And Peter, being Peter, says, Jesus, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. So Jesus says, come on, Peter. And Peter gets out of the boat. He starts walking towards Jesus. And then he diverts his eyes. He starts looking at the waves. He sees and feels the wind. And you all know what happens. Da, 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 dum. He begins to sink, right? That story is very much like what I felt in the story that I shared on the first Camino Chronicles. It was the hill that nearly broke my faith in my husband. It was that hill when I let the enormity of the climb, straight up, mind you, blindside my heart and my mind. It was the hill that I looked to, just like Peter looked at the waves and the wind, and that hill caused me to question my whole experience on the Camino. Some of you know what that downward spiral feels like. And if you haven't heard that episode yet, check it out. It's episode 65, Ascending the Transformational Hills of Motherhood. Your soul might need that climb story today. But I wonder, what if I could face hills more like Abraham, step by step, not knowing the outcome, but trusting God's provision? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, after I got over myself, my childish, yes, childish, not childlike disposition, after I settled down and I got some much needed food and rest and clean underwear for the next day because we actually had a washer and dryer, I decided I wanted to do it different. I wanted to climb more like Abraham. He was the kind of hill climber who doesn't fixate on the outcome, but simply lifts his foot and obeys step by step. So, my beloved mountain climbing mama, strap on those sandals because today's Camino Chronicles, we're going to traverse a different kind of hill and maybe conquer a few of those internal hills that always seem to bring us down or drag us under. Hey, my lovely friend, welcome to the Mom2Mom Mentoring Podcast. I'm Misty Hughes, ICF Certified Transformational Life Coach, speaker, mom of 4 amazing adults, stepmom, mother-in-law, Grammy to 6, and wife to my fellow adventurer, Craig. I also have the immense privilege of being known as a dream champion to friends, which is probably, other than Grammy, one of my favorite titles. I am one to help excavate, build, and believe in the dreams of your heart. But I know sometimes life gets in the way. Enter your dream champion, me, here to help you navigate your own seasons of transition into transformation by helping you discover your God-given identity, define your values and strengths, and develop a personalized rhythm so you can truly live powerfully, lead with purpose, and love with passion. Because, beloved, I believe you were created for more than just survival mode. You are created to shine. So grab your sweet tea, or let's be honest, maybe it's your lukewarm cup of coffee you forgot in the microwave. Lace up those sneakers and come climb with me. Because today's story, it's windy, it's uphill, and it involves me getting a little creative and courageous. Yep, real life. And it taught me something I think you might want to tuck into your heart for the next time your hill feels impossible. Now, here's the thing. Hills have a way of showing us what's on the inside. And today's hills, they would be no different. It was a new day, full of promise. Good things were surely awaiting for us. The first good thing would be to find a place to stop for breakfast, which we did. Tummies full, sun shining, yesterday's troubles were far behind. Today, we were heading to Castle. This was to be a special night that my handsome, heroic, hardworking hubby had planned before we even left the States. It was the halfway point, and he decided to splurge, and we were going to stay high atop a hill overlooking the city of Bayona and the sea. But did you hear that? High atop a hill? He warned me, encouraged me, and assured me that if, when I got there, I didn't think I could make it, he'd call a cab. So, with that in my back pocket, I knew I could do it. As we strolled along that day over hill and dell, I realized that somewhere along the trail I had lost my sunglasses, and they were pretty cool too. I had purchased some just for this trip, and when you know it, the wind decided to whip up like it had something to prove that day. Every time I lifted my head to try to look at where we were going, bits of dirt and debris would fly into my eyes. No worries. Resourceful is my middle name. Raising 4 kids, you've got to learn to be resourceful. Well, I pulled my hat down as low as it would go, and I prepared to forge ahead. The only problem? I couldn't see more than 2 feet in front of me, which made things a little precarious. But I caught sight of Craig's feet up ahead, and I picked up my pace to get close enough to him to follow his feet. So, along the highway, cars racing by and wind in my face, I followed him, step by step. Oftentimes, I didn't even know we were going up a hill until we were like halfway or 3/4 of the way up. There was something to this blindness that was helping make things easier for me. Now, it wasn't my ideal way to walk along the highway. I didn't really like not being able to see, but it was my own fault. I'd been negligent. I hadn't been rebellious or sinful, just a little negligent, and it caused a disruption in the way my day went. But here's the deal. Just like my sweet hubby was so gracious and kind and would slow down if I needed him to, or could speed up when I had a lot of energy, so is Jesus. Craig provided a way for me to walk behind him, to stay in step, and not feel the angst of looking ahead and seeing the high hills that we were climbing. And Jesus provides for me in that same way, even when I don't know I need it. Now, was it hard? Yes, indeed. Who wants to walk for miles and miles only looking at the feet in front of you? Was it my ideal? Nope. But God provided for me. And in humility and with gratitude, I said yes. I receive what you're giving to me and helping me ascend these hills. In Isaiah 42:16, God promises his children, that's you, and me. I will lead the blind by ways they have not known. Along unfamiliar paths, I will guide them. I will turn the darkness into light before them and make the rough places smooth. These are the things I will do. I will not forsake them. So, being blind, it wasn't my favorite place to be, but God promises that He will lead us and He will guide us. Isn't that a beautiful promise? And I really had the opportunity to walk this out in the natural. Sometimes God doesn't give you the full picture of the road or hills ahead. He just gives you His footsteps, one at a time. And He invites you to let Him guide you. And He promises He will do it. He says again in Philippians 1:6, He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. Even if you can't see the whole hill ahead, He will never stop guiding you as long as you're willing to take the next step. You will make it, Mama. When you can't see the hill in front of you, sometimes the wisest thing you can do is pull your hat down on your head and trust the footsteps leading you and just keep moving forward. Let Psalm 23 remind you, He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. So here's my question for you. Where in your life right now do you need to stop straining to see the whole hill and instead pull your hat down over your eyes, acknowledge you can't get there alone, and simply trust the shepherd's steps in front of you? And beloved, if trust feels hard right now, just start small. One step, one prayer, one whispered yes at a time. If you're in a season where the hills feel overwhelming, maybe it's not the hill. Maybe it's the weight of carrying it alone. And that's exactly why I offer a free 30-minute clarity call. It's a safe space for you to name what you're facing, release some of the overwhelm, and begin to see the next step that God may be putting right in front of you. If that sounds like something that your heart needs right now, grab the link. I'm putting it in the show notes and schedule your call today. Well, after taking all of these lessons to heart, it was time for the grand finale of the day, the one that you've been waiting to hear about, and the one that I had been dreading. Our stopping place for the night. Remember the castle in Spain, perched high above the sea, gorgeous, glorious, and, of course, uphill. Castles, they just aren't built on flat ground, are they? They're placed up high for protection, for perspective, so you can see what's coming. And I had a decision to make. Would I make the climb or call a cab? Well, you know what? I decided to make the climb. Yay! And as I started the climb, I had yet another decision to make. I decided I wasn't going to rush. I wasn't going to compare my pace to Craig's. I was just going to keep going, slow, steady, and present. It was hard, I won't kid you. My legs were aching and I was worn out, but this time my heart posture stayed in a better place. I didn't arrive in a whirlwind of anger or resentment. I arrived tired, yes, but grateful. And that, my dear friend, was progress worth celebrating, because sometimes the win isn't just conquering the hill, it's the condition of your heart when you reach the top. This is why tending to your heart posture matters so much, because it's not about conquering that hill, but about how you journey up it. And if you're longing for that little extra support in your own climb, I am inviting you to that free 30-minute clarity call. Together, we're going to pause, listen for what God is saying, and you can find peace for the next step that you're on. You don't have to climb alone. The link is waiting for you in the show notes. So, here's what I learned on that windy, uphill day. Hills, they are inevitable, but there are different ways to climb. You can put your head down and fix your eyes on the shepherd who is leading you and trust that he's going to get you where you need to go. And the biggest win, keeping your heart aligned with Jesus along the way. Psalm 121 reminds us, our help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He doesn't just meet you at the top. He walks with you every step of the way. Now, if today's story resonated with you, don't wait to take that next step. Schedule your free 30-minute clarity call. It's a chance to catch your breath, to get clarity on the hill that is in front of you, and discover how to walk this hill with more peace and purpose. Just go to mom2mommentoring.com/call. I can't wait to meet you, pray with you, and help you take your next faithful step. And friend, if this podcast has encouraged you, would you do me a favor? Share this episode with another mom who's facing a hill of her own. Leave a 5-star review so that more women can find encouragement. And if you're ready for deeper support, I would love to invite you to book that free clarity call with me. We'll talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how to climb with grace and purpose. Until then, let me leave you with Jesus' words from Matthew 5. You are the light of the world, a city set on a hill which cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Mom, when you shine, you give others permission to shine too. Now, go live powerfully, lead with purpose, and love with passion.